I do believe as women and other genders that are joining beauty pageants are also there to break norms. To truly fight for what you believe in, you have to find something new. You have to create new ideas and to bring about change to the world. And to be able to do that, you have to do an action. And for you to be able to do an action, you must break a standard.
Thank you so much, Ate Choi, for those points. Well, when I say standards, they're not norms, they're guidelines. Standards are the things that guide us towards what we really want to. And it has been said. And it doesn't mean that by breaking the norm, we have to break the standards. We're actually setting the standards because we think that it is a guideline for us. That we have to move forward, having that structure, having that fundamental nature of something. And we can't be able to move forward if we won't follow or we won't really learn from the fundamental nature of something, which is standards.
I would like to take into consideration the point that she's setting that standards are guidelines, but I believe that standards are to be taken into deeper meaning. And that is why beauty pageants are made. We are now here to fight for something. We are now here to be the voice of someone who is struggling, someone who is silent. And to be able to do that, you have to break standards. Do not have to limit yourself to what the standards are being set for. You have to be able to break that, to break the walls, to break the barriers, to know your full potential as a person. And I think beauty pageants are deeper, are now deeper. Beauty pageants are now progressive. We are now more powerful because we have decided to stand for what we know is right. We decided to break limits. We have decided to set ourselves the as the beacon of hope for everyone. We have decided to be the start of a rallying point, and that is the start of breaking standards for me.
Okay, Simon, let's start with Alisa. Okay. The candidate who advances to the semifinals, tama ba? Semifinals. Hindi pala semifinals. Paano yung second? Yung sunod na round. Is candidate number 3, Joy Marcon. Next is candidate number 11, Megan Campbell, versus candidate number 14, Gwen Fornoy.
Thank you.
Megan, your question is, are online learning modules for students an effective way of learning? Are online learning modules for students an effective way of learning? Yes. No. 30 seconds. Time's up.
Yes, I do believe that online learning is effective, and I can say that because I am an online teacher. I have been teaching since I was 16, and I've taught both in classes and also online. So I also understand the differences. And one thing that I've learned during my teaching online, through creating my own modules too, is that you have to cater to your students. You have to understand what your student needs and what they need to improve on. And that is by being an effective teacher, by listening, by understanding different ways and methods to be able to improve your students. And that's also being innovative with the way that you teach online. I understand it is not face to face, but we do have video call. We also have different technological advances that are able for you to connect with your students. So I believe in being innovative. I believe in being a good teacher, and that's by listening, and that's by catering your modules to your students. And that's by making sure that you listen to them and what they need rather than a whole for all students. So I was left with no, virtual modules are not effective because as a teacher myself as well of languages, I've been teaching online and also in reality, and I can see the difference that it takes on students, especially on their mental health. The overload of going from classes to your friends, being able to have a break time, to staying at home and not having fresh air, and the time to breathe and think about what's next, and being stuck to your computer, I think is not an effective way. Especially right now, I'm still tutoring online, and I can see the mental health that it takes. They're not able to express their emotions clearly to me, and they're not able to show the way they feel as they would face to face. And I think that takes a huge mental state on physical and also mentally. So I think we should stick to traditional ways, especially during these times. And we could also work together better, especially as a teacher. I think for the children, it is health that really, really matters and should be prioritized instead of trying to do it all online when they are struggling. I completely understand that fact. I actually have a wonderful experience with a student, and she was struggling to apply for a job. And that's because she wasn't comfortable or confident in her own English speaking skills. And so, in getting to know each other and learning from each other, we were able to actually help each other mentally just by being a confidant, somebody that I can say, I had a bad day at work today, and that's because I wasn't able to say something properly and it made things a little uncomfortable. So, talking about it, making them feel comfortable with speaking so that they can stand up to their bosses in front of the public or to apply for a job. It takes being a good teacher, somebody who's also a good listener, who's compassionate, and most important, somebody who's patient. So yes, you may not have your classmates, but your teacher can also be your friend. So I agree with Megan's points, but I also believe that children need physical activity to be stronger, to face these battles, especially during the pandemic, and to communicate clearly with one another using their voice and voicing out their opinions. And also growing up, sports was a very important activity in our school. It was crucial to be healthy, to keep fit, and to also have that kind of the kind of sunshine in your mind to be able to walk out and communicate with your friends because not everything can be done online, as such as sports, such as trying to do everything, all the modules together. So I believe doing it online can really put back children's communication skills and also physical skills.
Thank you. Simon, let's start with Alisa. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. The person or the candidate who is going to the semifinals is candidate number 11, Megan Campbell. Congratulations, Megan. Next is number 32, Divina Villanueva versus number 8, Emmanuel Vera. Next outfit review. Please choose a topic for question. Okay, who is a better Miss World? A younger or an older candidate? Who is better for Miss World or better Miss World? A younger or an older candidate? 30 seconds. Ay, ano pala?
I would go for older candidates.
So, younger candidate. Thirty seconds. Time's up. Divina.
So I choose for an older candidate. I know that for beauty pageants and a lot of organizations, of course, what they're looking for a candidate is someone who can be worked with, who can be easily worked with, and of course, who is very down to earth. And I know that with age, when you're older, you become very mature. You know, you had a lot of experiences, and I know that you can carry all the responsibilities that will be given to you with the organization. And I know that when you're given with the responsibility from the organization, I know that you will take care of it. And when you're older, I know that when you will wear the crown, you will wear the crown not just with your head, but also with your heart. Thank you for those good points and very respectable ones at that. However, I would just like to remind everyone that age is but a number. That you have met many people who are young, yet mature and wise beyond their years. And experience is not the best teacher. We have eyes and ears for a reason, more than we have a mouth. And this is to observe, to listen, and to absorb the experiences of other people who have gone before us. And if we are wise to apply them in our lives. I trust the judges of organizations, the organizers, the people who select the queen to decide who is the most fit for the crown. And I believe that ageism should not be applied here. We should not discriminate against the younger candidates just because they are young, but that we should look at them as people with potential, people with powers, people who can be shaped by experience as incredible and massive as being a title holder. I believe that we should encourage the youth furthermore to step up, to be empowered, and to reach for their goals regardless of their age or how young they are. That they should not let this inhibit them from expressing their full potential and being all that they are created to be. And that they should be strong and have fortitude of heart and of mind despite being younger than their other co-candidates. Thank you.
Wow.
So thank you for that good point. I also do appreciate the younger ones who are joining the beauty pageants. But of course, I know that for the older candidates, they're here to guide those younger people. And I know that they could really carry the responsibility when it comes to being or getting the title of being the Miss World or any other titles in this organization. And I really know that with age, or what I'm pointing out a while ago, is that when you're older, you're being able to possess all the qualities because of your experiences. That's all. Thank you. I would just like to remind everyone of the points that I have made earlier, that experience is not always the best teacher. And that, for example, I'm the eldest sister, but my younger sister is far more responsible than I am. My youngest brother, Arpunso, is the wisest and in fact the most intelligent. He is an engineer at the age of 17. My brother, who is the third in line, is actually the wisest of all of us. He has wisdom beyond his years, and he has some sort of this depth that none of us embody. And this all transcends age. Age is a physical number, but your external age is not always in line with your internal age. And I believe, again, I trust the judges of the organization and the organizers to select the most apt candidate and the most capable candidate, again, regardless of age. Thank you.
Thank you. JB. Queenie. Mafe. And Alisa. Okay. The girl or the candidate proceeding to the next round is candidate number 8, Emmanuel Ben. going to be winner. Huwag mo na ako pang-spray. Bench. Habang pala malayo.
Commercial.
Okay. Dalawa na lang. Number 23 and number 6. Number 23, Shani Manzano. And number 6, Shaila Lagorde. Okay, Shannon, you get to choose your question. Your question or topic is, should same-sex marriage be legalized in the Philippines? Should same-sex marriage be legalized in the Philippines? Yes or no? No.
Okay, for the sake of debate.
30 seconds.
Go na.
Okay, time's up. Shannon.
In our generation, we already widely accepted the LGBTQ community. And I believe that there is nothing wrong about legalizing their right for each other. And that is marriage. We were giving them the right to have each legality to each other. It's not just because a man and a woman can only bind each other in the means of law. No. When you love each other, you know that you can conquer everything. Marriage. There's so many forms of marriage. There's legal marriage. There's marriage outside the church. We can respect the religious side, but also respecting the rights for the legalities. Because when the same sex don't marry each other, even they have their relationship, they don't have the legal rights for each other. I know one story. I know one relationship that his partner died and he didn't get the advantage to even get him out of the hospital to the morgue because he is not married to the man. And that is very hard. That is very heartbreaking. And you know what in this world we need? We need to accept one another faithfully, deeply, and equally.
Number 6.
Thank you, Shannon, for your very good points. I believe that when discussing matters about the LGBTQ community, the voice that must be heard must be from someone who belongs to the LGBTQ community. And us, like me, a woman, is just there to echo their voices. And I may not be speaking for everyone in the LGBT community because this is still a topic that is widely debated even among their community. I would like to share to you something that my mother in pageantry has taught me. She told me to respect the differences of the trans women, the gay marriage, and the women and men as well. And because she has taught me that she is also against gay marriage, even as a part of the LGBT community, I will be standing by that value. I would like to point out that marriage, the biblical marriage, the church marriage, is very, very sacred. And although we are widely accepting or widely acceptive of the LGBTQ community right now, not everything that is normal is right. And that we must learn to preserve these values that has been handed down to us by our past, the people of the past. And it is also our task to be able to protect this one. And I do believe that we also have to give them equal rights. I love to be able to give them the right to adoption, the right to have a voice in the community. But marriage is something that is very, very sacred. I would like to keep it as it is. Thank you.
I would like to point out that with same-sex marriage, we're not breaking any values. We are not specifically talking about the church marriage. We're just talking about marriage. And we can have the marriage inside the judge and different types of marriage. They just want the legalities. And you know how hard it feels when you don't have the legal right to your partner, even though you love him, you can get him out of the morgue. You don't have the priority and you don't have your name on that list, even though you love that person. You're the one with that person, but you can't do anything about it. You know how hard it is for them? We're not changing any values. We're just adapting to the new normal. We're just adapting to our generation. And we just need to accept that legalities are what same-sex marriage is for. It's not changing the values of the church.
Thank you, Shannon, for pointing out that what there are unions outside of church, and I believe what she is talking about is civil union and not marriage. Marriage is something that happens inside the church, something that we want to protect. Marriage in different religions, all are placed in their different respective churches, and this is something that I want to protect. I want to protect. This is also something I want to voice out. I am not against civil union, just like what you were saying, but I am against gay marriage because I want to protect the sanctity of the church and its values. Thank you so much.
It's so hard to decide. I know. Ayoko na i-judge. I'm sad. Okay. Again, it's a close fight. Our semifinalists or someone, hindi pa
Next
semifinalist
round.
pala. Next round. The one who qualifies for the next round is candidate number 6. Sana. Ay, wala na pala. Last na pala yun.
So, yung mga winners, can we ask them
Can we ask
to
the winners
picture
to
taken?
have a picture on stage?